My name is Bob Cobley, and I am the owner of Spectrum Lasers. This is about a 10-minute presentation to show you why the Spectralase diode laser is the highest quality laser in the world. I'm going to screen share. Here we go. All right, the Spectralase diode laser, it's the most advanced, most dependable, and lowest price laser on the market. It's the only laser developed for orthodontics. This is totally science-based, no gimmicks, no useless bells and whistles like presets, multiple wavelengths, and laser whitening. Our mission is to offer the highest quality products and service with a value that is much more than the compensation which we receive. Our lasers are endorsed by many lecturing orthodontists, David Sarver, Tom Pitts, Stuart Frost, John Graham, and others. I am part of the Pitts Masters program and the Frost Smile Academy. I've conducted training courses at many residency programs, and we're currently in 27 residency programs. Some of the programs, the lasers have been in use for over 14 years, and we have not repaired any of these. To give you an idea on the size, 14 ounces, 7 inches across, 6 inches deep, 2.5 inches in the front, 4 inches in the back, fits in the palm of your hand, very portable. What makes this laser special? Well, the most important thing is that who manufactures it. Our lasers are manufactured by Dr. George Beckhoff in San Francisco since 1998. He is a laser physicist with a PhD in laser physics. He has over 30 years experience developing and manufacturing advanced medical lasers and LASIK surgery lasers.
Probably let's start from the beginning. I graduated from one of the best technical universities in the world, Moscow Physical Technical Institute. It's like MIT in this country. And I worked for Soviet Academy of Sciences. And in '92, US government offered me some position to develop plutonium detector based on laser spectroscopy methods which I developed.
All right, you can pretty much be assured that Dr. Beckhoff can make a quality laser. Now, no other laser company has someone like him doing their manufacturing. This is an excimer laser, a LASIK surgery laser that Dr. Beckhoff builds. He does not build the furniture, he just does the laser itself. Why is this an orthodontic laser? Well, first off, it's because of the wavelength. When diode lasers first came out in 1996, basically to replace the ND-YAG lasers, they were all 810 nanometers. Ours were 2. We didn't know any better. Highly attracted to pigmented tissue, but not tooth structure. Over time, the science taught us that a 980 wavelength still attracted to pigmented tissue, but 30 times more attracted to water. Your tissue is something like 85% water. So a 980 cuts cleaner, smoother, faster than an 810. And the studies prove that a 980 has 5 times less depth of thermal penetration. The depth is what we want to avoid. That's what causes damage and pain, particularly important in orthodontics because many of you will be doing only procedures with topical only. And then we developed an advanced pulse mode. The advantage of a pulse mode is that the tissue cools in between each pulse. Our lasers, we do all of our cutting in the pulse mode. We do everything in the pulse mode. Other lasers, the pulse mode is basically for hygienists to use for doing curettage. But it's very important, and this is a self-adjusting pulse. It adjusts the pulse amplitude and the pulse intervals and pulse width. You don't have to do that yourself. Also, we calibrate our lasers. If it says 1.0 on the readout, you have to calibrate it so it's 1.0 at the tip of the fiber. This doesn't just happen on its own. First of all, you have to know how to do it. Secondly, you have to have equipment, and then you have to be willing to spend the time and money. We do these things. We have 99% accuracy. Our lasers do not lose power at all, and you do not have to recalibrate the lasers. Um, Another advantage of our company is any issue that you may have, and you call our company, one of the owners answers the phone. Over the years, we've had many sales reps. We have independent reps now, but if there's any kind of issue, we want to handle it ourselves to make sure it's taken care of immediately and properly. Advantages with our lasers, simple, let's say a cuspid exposure takes 30 seconds. Other lasers, 5 minutes. So, of course, advantages of decreased treatment time, less referrals, increased aesthetics to finish off your case. And I'll go over this. There's no maintenance, no injections. We'll bill the dental insurance. I'll go over that also. So now cost. You see these three little tips on the right side. Every laser that you'll find has snap-on tips. They're going to cost $10 to $12 a piece. You're going to spend $2,000, $3,000, even $4,000 a year on these tips. We don't have that. We have a 10-foot long fiber that you'll trim off 3 millimeters per patient. This fiber is good for 800 patients, and it costs $300. For the snap-on tips, 800 patients cost $8,000. Now, also, I can buy these snap-on tips. I can buy them for 40 cents a piece from China. You can buy quite a few of them and sell them to you for $10. Well, some years ago, when I found out about this, I went to Dr. Beckhoff and said, "What do you think?" And he said, "The problem is that it's really hard to get a good connection, consistent connection, with a tip that probably costs 5 cents to make." So we elected not to do it. And we sell many lasers each year to doctors that have the snap-on tips and are just fed up with it because it's inconsistent. All right, so the cases. A typical cuspid exposure like this, topical only, a strong topical, which we give you the formula. And of course, we go over all this in training. This is a 30-second procedure. You can touch tooth, bone, metal, etc. Very simple, easy to do. Access gingivectomy, better bracket placement, more access.
I don't like to expose the whole cuspid. I like to just probably do the lower third so that I can get a bracket on it. Just a little bit more on this side. And that'll give me sufficient room now to put a bracket on that tooth. Now we'll do the left side. A real simple, fast procedure. Saves a lot of treatment time for the patient and for myself. Real simple procedure.
All right. Now, I recommend that you move the fiber tip on the tissue a little slower. The slower you move it, the faster it cuts. All right. This is what Dr. Pitts calls a wow factor, taking a good case to a great case. Cases like this. And I go over this in training, how you do these. Short little square teeth, make them look beautiful. The image on the top, that's not bad, but on the bottom, it's beautiful. David Sarver is probably close to diastema, and it kind of bunched up the tissue. Now this will show you just nice and smooth, slow and steady movement on the tissue.
Again, I'm very careful not to go into the patella.
I'm not taking where the height or the length of the papilla. I stop before I get into that. Otherwise, you'll create a flicker spot. I'll also come in and debulk this just a little bit. Get good contours.
So that kind of debulking a bulbous papilla. Here's another example of just slow and steady movement.
If I ever feel myself thinking a little bit, I just stop and go somewhere else. Yeah. I'm done now.
Okay, we timed that. That was at UOP with the residents. That took 25 seconds to do one tooth. This is not our laser. And this particular laser, we timed it. It's a minute 39 seconds to do one tooth. And I know this doctor. He's actually a trainer, or used to be a trainer for another laser company. So he knows how to use a laser. He's just got a poor laser. It's just, when you do gingival recontouring, you're going to do 10 to 12 teeth. And it would take 3 times longer with this laser, at least, because it takes more time to thin papillas too. Before and afters like this. You all see these. And you know darn well if you refer it, it doesn't mean they're going to get it done. Kind of short, square teeth. Big difference. Beautiful case. And then he sent me this a year later to show me that there's no rebound. As long as you don't violate biological width, it's going to stay exactly where you trim it every time.
And my son just had a laser contouring by Dr. Frost, and it was just amazing. I cannot believe it. I am stunned at how much better his smile looks. When he got his braces off, it was a little bit of a letdown because I couldn't believe how small his teeth were, and I am just amazed at how his smile looks today. It's a different smile completely.
Okay, this was at an in-office course, Stuart Frost in Arizona. I asked her if she would have spent $2,500 at the periodontist to have this done. She told me yes. If she would have known how good it's going to look, she would do that. So I immediately put before and after cases on my website for you to copy and paste until you have your own. Particularly if you're going to charge, you have to show what the result's going to be like. Here's halfway through. Another beautiful case. Okay, return on investment. I have at least 500 orthodontists who are billing the dental insurance, and they're collecting about $300 per exposure and about $300 per quadrant when we're doing gingival recontouring. So that's $600 every time you do gingival recontouring. Now, I'll go over all this in training, but if you do the math here, typical is 3 to 5 exposures a week. That's $45,000 to $75,000 a year. I asked Dr. Pitts, in a busy practice, how many recontouring cases would you do in a year? I said, 100? He said, oh, way more than 100. I just used 100. 100 is $60,000. So basically, it's $100,000 every year, and you're improving your results. I go over dental codes and that kind of thing in training, also special narratives that you have to use. This is a thick fibrous piece of tissue just to show you that it doesn't take very long. And of course, we don't have any bleeding or swelling. This is with topical.
Okay, now we need to do that. See with that.
It's right there on the.
You hold it. Okay, I'll do it. Have you grab to
Okay, that didn't take very long. All right, this is now, if you do give injections, there's a lot more that you can do. This is Dr. Errol Yim out on the Big Island. This patient, they referred this patient for a palatal exposure, and the patient never got it done, but keeps coming back in the office. And as you know, it costs you money if you do anything or not. So eventually they just said, let's break out the laser and do it. Now this is thick and fibrous, probably took 5 minutes to do, but you can get on with your case. Frenectomies, if you elect to do them, they're pretty easy, but of course you do need an injection. I mean, you could finesse it with topical only, but I'd recommend the injection. I'm not going to go run this whole thing, but you get the idea. Oops. Okay, so that is my short presentation. Thank you for listening, and I hope you decide to purchase one of our lasers. Thank you.